Brennan sent me this. He showed me that he sold out the Metro Theater in Sydney, okay? And it said, well, sold out my first theater. And then he said, I get this. He goes, just want you to know, brother, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have any of this in my life. And I showed that to my wife. And I said, and of course I appreciate him saying that. And I showed this to Stevie. And but then I said, when people say this, I always say, that's not true. It's not true. Like, I appreciate you say that, but it's not true. Because I suppose in this particular business, I've been helpful in kind of like being an example and maybe,
mentor.
Giving you advice. But you are the kind of person that your habit is excellence. You are a fucking grinder. You are a strategist. You work really hard. So I don't believe that. I think you would have found your way either way, because that's what happens with people who win. And because they have a habit of excellence and a habit of always working for what they consider their truth. Like I know with you, I know that you're not satisfied ever, and you're not going to be satisfied until you have the set as a comic that you feel is worthy of being on camera, as a special.
Correct.
And then you'll do that and be on to the next.
Yep.
And so that habit of excellence, of course you have a habit of gratitude. I have a habit of gratitude. When things are going well, how can you not thank your friends, the people you love, the people that you're on this journey with, right? We love being on this thing together. But what is more important is that, I know you now very well.
Yep.
And I know people like you. I know people like Rogan. I know people that are effective. You guys would be successful. You'd find your way fucking through. You would find. Sure, people help you.
I don't think in stand up. I don't think in stand up.
I don't know, dude.
I really don't.
Regardless,
it's too scary, and you know what I'm saying. Like and there's other. I'm sure stand ups who have started out there. Like, it's a tough road.
I know, dude, but you chose to do it. But see, you could have easily said that's not for me. Yeah. And what you did is you went, I'm going to do it, and you would have done it regardless of whether or not I fucking, I'm not writing that shit for you.
I don't think so.
Well, okay, whatever the case, you would have found your way through.
Now this is going to hurt. I cannot give you 10%.
And that was what I was going to ask for.
I know you're leading
I was going to couch it. If I don't get my beak wet, if somebody's not going to wet my beak, I don't know what we're doing, because the text ain't paying my bills.
I can't believe you're not coming to Australia. But in order for it to get this done, your management's going to have to tell this to the UFC brass. Yeah. Are they saying this? Are they singing the same tune?
We're the same page, everybody.
So I think the real solution to this is everybody's got to get in a room, because it's not numbers. It's personal.
It's personal. It's a respect thing on her end,
which is personal, right?
Yes.
So you have a Brazilian, and if we just we're talking about two businesses, but now let's talk about it from a business world. When two businesses come together, there's usually a whole marketing understanding department that works on the infusion of the two business cultures.
This one's easy, though. What's good for you is good for them.
You're taking a Latina from Brazil who money's not her motivating factor. Her motivating factor is respect. It's family. She just bought a farm. I'm going to be a fucking farmer in the middle of the jungle in Brazil.
You bought a farm?
In Brazil?
Yeah.
This is sweet. This is not a girl that wants to live in Hollywood. Money is not going to be the motivating factor.
Yeah, you're not going to be Expendables 19 after you retire.
Now you have another company where their culture is money.
Just money.
And when they met with Chris, and the whole thing came up about like, yo, look at all this shit you've been saying about me. It was kind of like, yo, it's the fight game. Toughen up, buddy. They was just saying it to promote stuff. But now you got me as a boyfriend, and the whole Vanderlei Silva in a dress with Dana White thing, she didn't even speak English when that happened. When she had somebody translate to her what he said, do you know what it's like to fucking sit there and see your girl cry? Because somebody, and not only that, she has a niece. Do you know what it's like for her niece to go to school and have people make jokes to an 11, 12-year-old that her adoptive mom has a penis?
Yeah, it's bad.
That's not fucking cool. And that's not just the fight game.
No.
Especially when you're not fucking paying them.
Yeah.
If you're paying them $2 million and they got to fucking listen to you make jokes about them having a dick, say whatever you want.
So I do about half of the year jumping, off of stuff and out of airplanes. By the other half of the year, I do public speaking, and a lot of it is about leadership stuff. And one of the key points when it comes to being a leader is being able to control your emotions because they're infectious. And if you ever worked for a team and you're working for somebody who you have a lot of respect for and you see them starting to lose the bubble, you can sit back and watch what it does to everybody else. It's the rising tide theory, right? So when your boss starts losing it and you're like, whoa, what's going on? Like this he's dialed in, he's got experience. He's losing his mind. Maybe I'm not seeing something that I should, so I'm going to lose my mind a little bit. So emotions are really infectious, and being able to control your emotions is probably one of the most powerful characteristics of a leader, especially if you're in an environment where things are going terribly wrong and you hear your boss come over the radio and he's in the same firefight as you are or trying to work out a complex problem in the same environment that you are, but he sounds like he's having Mai Tais on the beach. It just immediately ramps you back down a few gears. But it has to be taught. And it starts with understanding that emotions don't impact outcome in any positive aspect, but they have a huge negative downside. I mean, it really doesn't matter how much you want something to happen or how scared you are or how excited you are or how enthusiastic. That does not affect outcome unless you let it affect your judgment. So there's nothing positive that it can do. And even like say you hit target after target after target after target and you develop this sense of security, a false sense of security. Everything's been going your way. Even that emotion can be very dangerous on the negative side of the house.
Because it's superstitious, right? Weren't you talking about that? Like,
it's not superstitious. It's an emotion that's allowing you to think that things are always going to go in your way. And it doesn't. So when you start getting frustrated and it impacts your ability to make decisions, your performance goes down. When you start getting too excited and it impacts your ability to make decisions, or you make a decision based off that false sense of security, bad things can really happen. So it has a huge consequence, and it's just something that is reinforced from day one. Like you have to maintain control of your emotions. And if you're going to be in a leadership position, and we expect all SEALs from day one, both officer and enlisted, to exude leadership. And I mean, the classic line is in the absence of leadership, you need to step up and take charge. You have to. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. You step up yourself. And in training, the training that we do is extremely difficult, and we take it to failure all the time. Like we'll create a problem that is not fixable, and we'll let people start to freak out, and you stop the training evolution. And you're like, listen, you see how things are going bad here? This is why it's going bad. And you highlight those failures so they can learn from them in a training environment, as opposed to never addressing them. And then you end up in a real world situation and it's catastrophic.